So this is your host Achyut Saxena, and I'm going to talk to an upcoming intern at Siemens who has received the PPO offer at Samsung after a summer internship there. So on screen we welcome Mr. Anmol Kesarwani. So Anmol, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Anmol Kesarwani, and thank you for having me Achyut here. So I am from NIT Jamshedpur, and I currently am pursuing electronics and communication engineering there. So I'm in my eighth semester, and I had done my summer internship at Samsung Bangalore, R&D Bangalore actually. You have to mention it. So I had done my Samsung summer internship there, and that is for just 2 months, and currently I'm now joining Siemens for the next 6 months there. And in Samsung, I've also got a PPO offer to join them full time.
Right. So can you tell us about your hobbies or what do you do in free time?
Yeah. My hobbies basically includes like playing badminton, table tennis, or watching movies, just to time
Okay.
pass.
Right. So, coming straight to the point, can you tell me about how did you get the offer at Siemens or Samsung, and where did you apply? Was it on campus, off campus? How did you go about it?
Yeah. So for Samsung, it was an on-campus placement like scenario where the companies visit our colleges and we had to give our OA round and there was some interviews. Like before Samsung, I have rejected from many companies like for internship because
Right,
my OA round was not clearing. For Samsung, there was an OA round. The OA that is online assessment round, that is the coding round, where
right.
there was three question and there was some time limit. I guess there was 2 hours or 3 hours. I didn't remember exactly. So there were one easy level question, and there were two medium level question according to lit code. So first you then pass in this OA round, you have to clear all three questions, then you will get into the interview. So in the interview, the I got actually 10 days, basically roughly 8 to 10 days. So I thought that I should give a chance because मैंने तो सोच लिया था कि मतलब कि पहले कंपनी में इंटरव्यू होने जा रहा है तो इस बार तो नहीं होगा वो तो ये जस्ट एक मान के चलता हूँ फेल सेफ है तो कोई बात नहीं मैंने कहा कि एक बार कर लेता हूँ तो
Right.
so I was preparing for that for whole 10 days. I was doing all those GFG archives for the Samsung because in GFG you can get all companies archives that which company has had which type of question. So there you can get. So I had done that and after that I was also as an intern because in intern not much theory part is required. So like oops, if you have done it, that is enough. They do not require the DBMS or OS also. So I'm
Right.
currently brushing up all the OOPS concept, like what can I do in OOPS, what extra can I, because before that I have just read the OOPS part just from bit to bit and just that. So in that 10 days periods, I was even documenting that OOPS concept also, such
Oh,
that that's also even motivates me also. That's even though I will not get into Samsung, even after that, I'll just have a documented oops, which will help me afterwards. So that's why it also what motivates me. I've done all the oops concept of coding questions. Then on the interview day, it was such a nervous time. Actually, you can all relate that because the first interview was very
right.
hectic and very bit nervous. That what can you say and what not to say. So at first, and as I know that in the interview first in starting, he asked me to introduce myself. So I introduced. Actually, I have written first the introduction, then I introduced myself because I know कि अगर अटक गए दिक्कत हो जाएगी इसलिए
Right.
इंट्रोडक्शन तो पहले 3 4 बार लिख लिया पूरा कि हाँ ऐसे ही बोलना है तो
सही.
इंट्रो पूरा करा अच्छे से देन ही गो इनटू माय सीवी और सीवी में तो उसने एक एक पॉइंट मतलब पूरा निकाला कि
पूरा वॉक थ्रू किया.
you have done this point, you have done this. Yeah, that in which club you have joined. So I have written that I have joined the Drift Club, Team River Club. So he is asking for those questions also that इस club में क्या किया, इस team में क्या किया, क्या तुम्हारा उसमें अपना था contributions था, तो कुछ बोलना आना चाहिए और जो भी तुम
Right.
सीवी में लिखो.
Right.
So then he goes into my technical part. Like actually, I know C++. So everyone who knows C++ also writes C in their portfolio. So I've also written C that I know C. So I
Right.
know just basic of C. So and that's where I regretted because the interview first see that he knows both C and C++. So the first question he asked in technical, like, give me the difference between C and C++. So
Oh,
that's where I got
that
like what
question.
to say. So I just know one line that C is a procedural programming language, C++ is object oriented.
Oh,
So
right.
that's how I started that first C is procedural and C++ is object oriented programming language. But then I remember that I learned oops इतने दिनों की मेहनत की है तो मैं उसको oops के बारे में थोड़ा बताने लग गया कि मैं जानता था और अगर अटक गया तो कुछ पूछेगा तो इससे अच्छा थोड़ा oops के बारे में बोलूंगा तो वो और ऊप्स के बारे में पूछता जाएगा तो इसीलिए मैंने डिफरेंस सी और सी प्लस का डिफरेंस है उसको अपने ऊप्स में ले गया तो उसको अपने डोमेन में ले आया तो मैंने जो तीन
Right.
चार वर्ड बोले ऊप्स से तो वो खुद ही क्वेश्चन पूछने लग गया कि टेल मी अबाउट abstraction polymorphism so
Right.
that's how the question got in my domain actually so that's why I was able to answer it
So
yeah
आना चाहिए कैसे
so
टैकल
partially
करना है
and then
technical issues.
yeah yeah, basically, क्योंकि question I don't know that answer for the question. I just know the
हाँ.
one or two words for that question.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how I make that question into my domain. Like C or C plus plus नहीं आता, चलो उसको उसमें घुमाते हैं. तो मैंने actually इंटरव्यू घुमा दिया. तो फिर उसमें ये हुआ कि
Right.
oops का हो गया. तो उसके बाद ठीक है, हाँ वो he was satisfied with my technical knowledge. उसने कुछ थोड़ा C का फिर वो थोड़ा पूछने लग गया कि मतलब फिर हाँ वो फिर C में आ गया. Actually he gave me a pointer question that you have to do this, you have to allocate the pointer and
Correct.
manipulate that pointer and do and all. He is doing some function also. कुछ बहुत changes करवा रहा था उस टाइम किसी तरह हो गया
Right.
हाँ
Right.
and then he move on to the project part. Actually I have mentioned some one of my group projects and some of my basic projects because at an intern time you do not know everything. So at that time I only know I have just made the front end part with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap like that only. So I've just made the front end part. So he was questioning me on that front end part also कि JavaScript से तुम ये कर सकते हो, Bootstrap से क्या क्या कर सकते हो. So that's how my interview was going. And yeah, that was just a one interview, which I guess it takes 45 minutes only. So after
Right.
that,
Right.
the yeah selection I got selected in the Samsung
Okay.
as an intern.
And what about Siemens? Like, what was the process? It was also on campus or it was off campus?
Yeah. Siemens was actually also on campus.
Okay.
So when the company approaches, we also in here also there was one OA round that is online assessment round where we have to give the coding questions. Actually in Siemens, because Siemens is based on the electronics part, electronics basically.
Right.
So it also asks electronics question also. So in a OA round, there was a certain MCQ and coding question. In MCQ, there was a certain technical questions, coding questions, and there were also electronic questions like what is half adder and what this electronic component will depict or what and else. So you have to usually pass it our certain criteria, and then you get directly into the interview part.
Got it.
So yeah, that was in OA part, and when in my first round, actually for most of the people there was two rounds, I guess. But in my first round, let me tell you, yeah. So in my first round, the my interview was actually a very big, very senior that company. Actually, I guess he was 18 to 20 years experience, and that means a lot actually.
Right.
So when then I guess I was very shocked that he is such an experienced guy taking my interview. So I was very fascinated with him. I was asking a bit questions. Yeah, so you are in this company for so long. So he was also cracking jokes like, "Are you making fun of me, or are you thinking I'm old or what?" So yeah, the interview was very good, and he's making me comfortable and all. That's how it is. So it goes through like a session actually. I mean, it's a conversation, not an interview actually, because in that he asks like, what do you do and what do you like? I mean, he's starting to make him comfortable. So after that, with the introduction part, I guess yeah, he was because mainly focused on the electronics part. But at first he seen my CV and I've mentioned my internship there because I've done my third year, so I mentioned my internship. So he got all hyped up and started asking question all about into what तुम कैसे approach किए, manager से कैसे क्या किए. So I started asking, telling the answers that I have gained this experience I
Mm-hmm.
have done in this in this tech stack, and I have to do this and all. Actually, I cannot disclose the main project because we have an agreement in Samsung,
Indeed,
like we
right,
cannot
right.
disclose the project outside. So I was just basically telling an overview of that project that this is I have done right now. So basically, the this internship part taken for half an hour, I guess. We have discussed everything in this internship, what I have done, how can I tackle, how did I tackle, and whatnot.
Right,
And then he goes into core part, like he goes to C++, like he does not want my project part. He does not seen my many must projects in my CV. He just go to under the basic core part of the C++. Like he is not asking me some random DSA question, like in every interview we see that there's some common question like DP question or tree question is like that. So he was asking me some C++ pure question like इसके अंदर ये क्या होगा, abstraction वगैरह तुम कैसे कर पाओगे वगैरह
right,
वगैरह.
right, right.
So and then he also make me to make a new data type also, like
Oh, okay.
तुम्हें ये फंक्शन एक ऐसा डेटा टाइप दिया है, तुम्हें ये फंक्शन इंप्लीमेंट करना, तुम क्या डेटा टाइप का मिक्सचर यूज करोगे, नया डेटा टाइप बनाओ जिससे तुम्हारा मतलब कि वो फंक्शन इंप्लीमेंट हो पाए मिनिमम टाइम में, ओ ऑफ 1 या ओ ऑफ एन बेसिक में मैक्सिमम. तो
Oh,
ऐसे कुछ
okay.
क्वेश्चन हाँ तुम्हें मिल जाएंगे, हैकर रैंक में मिल जाएंगे, बट यूजुअली इसका क्वेश्चन आता नहीं है. सो आई वाज
Mm-hmm.
टैकलिंग विद द क्वेश्चन लाइक कि अगर मैं ये डेटा स्ट्रक्चर मैप का कर लूं और प्रायोरिटी क्यू का कर लूं तो ऐसा ऐसा हो सकता है, कुछ ऐसा ही करके था. और फिर उसमें
Mm-hmm.
वेक्टर का भी उसने बहुत पूछने लग गया कि हाँ, उसने वेक्टर की रीसाइजिंग पे भी पूछा कि वेक्टर की अगर हम लोग रीसाइजिंग करेंगे तो कितना टाइम लेता है. देयर वाज सम दैट इज अ वेरी फेमस क्वेश्चन कि रीसाइजिंग करने में क्या, क्योंकि वेक्टर इज एन unlimited size of array. We say that usually that we can put any number of items in that, but that's not true. After a certain limit, it resizes itself and take a co of n time. So that is something else. So that's how he's taking all the question into the core part, creating a new data structure
Mm-hmm.
and talking about the whole in the vector part only, that how can I manipulate the vector, how can I increase the capacity of the vector and whatnot. So this interview in Siemens, the interview was not like some basic DSA questions. It was more about the more fundamental concept of the programming, you know what. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
how was my interview. And after this interview, I mean, after this interview, most people got into second part. I mean, 5 to 6 people got into second round. So and at that time, I seen that I did not got into the second round. I was so frustrated. I was asking my tap that you should ask the company what went wrong in the first interview, because I have given all the answer. The round was very good actually because it was a discussion, not an interview type. So that's why I got frustrated that how did I not get into the second round. But after the result came out, that I got to know that I got to get selected in the first round only. So yeah, that was
That's
my
like really
journey.
shocking. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
In Flip,
yeah.
yeah, in
So
Flipkart, similar thing happened. Like everyone got the second round interview link, and I was sitting and waiting for a week and a half, and I did not receive the link. So I was like, okay, never
yeah,
mind.
it's been
I'm
so
not getting
frustrating,
it.
right?
Right,
Everyone is going to the other round and you are not getting,
right,
even though the
right, right.
interview was so good.
हाँ, that's what,
Yeah.
that's what. And you get scared. You start thinking that मैंने
Yeah,
ऐसा
am I
क्या
not
बोल
good
दिया
enough
कि
or
उसको
क्या
पसंद नहीं
कह
है.
दिया?
Correct,
हाँ,
correct. वही.
हाँ.
So वो सब सीन था. So वो सब था. That is fine. So in Siemens that you're joining really soon, can you tell us when is the joining date? When are you joining?
So yeah, I'm going to join on 9th January
Oh,
2023.
okay.
Yeah,
And
just a couple days after.
and
And it is
location?
for the 6 months. Yeah, the location is for Noida actually.
Oh, right. Okay, that is good. That is good. So so in Siemens, what role will you be playing? Like, what is the job profile?
So in Siemens, I'm getting a job profile as a software engineer developing soft. I'm basically SD intern.
Okay, SD intern. Okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right. So in Siemens, you'll be joining at an SD intern. You did your internship in Samsung as an R&D engineer and
As
PQ
an
in Sam
intern, actually,
as
the
an intern.
company
Okay,
name is Samsung R&D Research and Development.
Okay,
backward.
okay, all right.
Yeah,
And the
it
PPO is
takes
there
from the
itself?
name. Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. So, Anmol, since there were a lot of people who might have applied for Siemens or Samsung, what was different in your CV that made you stand apart from all others and you got the companies?
Yeah, for CV, I have changed so much. I have actually so many times I have changed my CV before applying to any company. Actually, I have in placement times you get not that you should put this, you should put this. I have changed so many times my CV that I should put this in my CV to good look good, and I should change this phrase in my CV. So I guess I have like 15 CV of mine where I've changed some bit and some bit and some bit. So, I mean, you have to keep improve your CV, right? In
Right,
placement
right, right.
session, like in every week, actually, to get even if you get some skill actually extra done or you get some extra project, you should always
Uh-huh.
put that on your CV first. So yeah, in my CV, I have like put actually in Mentograph, I mean Siemens, I have gotten the internship. So that is on my first part of my CV. So
Mm-hmm.
because that highlights that I have got an experience and I am can do your work. So yeah, in my experience part, I've got an internship. And in my projects, as I have done a month stack, I'm a month stack developer, so I've done both full stack for, I mean, front end and back end and both parts. So I've made
Okay.
some several projects like because so I have made some e-commerce website where I've used all the modern technologies there. And also I've made some also like major small type projects wherein like I, as because to learn any language according to me you should always start developing some projects in that language. You should
You're
not
right.
start those language like learning from a YouTube lecture and just go on and
Mm-hmm.
learning all those 10 videos seeing for that video for that language only. You should start developing those projects and you should and by time you will able to get the idea about how this language works and how you can able to develop some different parts of that language. Because even if you get some stuck you get stuck, you can directly search on Google and how to do that, how to do that. So you can easily get the idea how you can manipulate and how you can do some your work in the job in your preferred language basically. So I
Right.
have make some small projects like basically like digital watch, also calculator, also some basic
Okay.
mini projects, to do list. These are very
Yes.
basic projects. So I actually I have these 4 to 5 projects. These are very simple projects. I have combined those projects in a beautiful manner. I have written this like my project name was Life Easy colon mini web apps. So it basically consists of 4 to 5 mini web apps which make someone life easy by using calculator, to-do list, and digital clock and all and all. To 4 to 5 projects, I have combined this. So I have presented those basic projects in such a way that it should show that it is something of valuable. So
Right.
yeah, that's in my
Right. Right.
project
Right.
part. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That is great. So in the end, you suggest that when anyone is learning, they should learn by doing rather than following a full length course. And
Yeah. Because you will get bored because
right.
code development part is not so much interesting that you can get everything. And because in development there is so much to learn. So everything you will see that there is something different in this, something different in this.
Mhm.
So you cannot learn everything. You should just make your project and get the idea that you, to do this, you have to do this. So you get that.
Right. 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 So Anmol, another thing I wanted to ask that during, as you told about Siemens, I assume that in Samsung it must also happen. There were rounds of interview, right? There were rounds of things happening. There was an OA, that you say online assessment. At MIT we call it OT, that is online test. So
Yeah, every college has
right.
different name.
So after that, or in between, or till the results, like, there's a lot of nervousness in your head. So how did you deal with that? What was your coping mechanism, I would say? What did you do
For
during that time?
me, it's yeah. For me, it's like I will give my 100%. Let's see what happens. I don't
Right.
know that I'll get this job or not, but I should give my 100%.
Right. So like, did you in between play badminton or tennis that you do to keep yourself calm?
Yeah, for that, actually, I've told you, right? For Samsung, I get roughly 10 days. So I've
Uh-huh.
utilized those days in seeing all those previous years or previous interviews of
Right.
at the same companies and
Right.
doing
Right.
some theoretical part which I've not done before, and I should do it for that interview.
Hmm.
So for the Samsung, I have utilized the whole 10 days. And for Siemens, I did not get much time. Actually, it was just 1 or 2 days. So I was pretty chill that let it
Let's
be,
see.
let it come. I'll deal it.
Right. Right. That is it. That is it. Okay. So since you was the Samsung internship offline, did you go to Bangalore to do it?
No, no, my Samsung internship
Online.
was actually it was at time Corona period. So that's
Oh,
why it was my
work
work
from
from
home.
home. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So how was your overall experience and what do you expect in future from Siemens as well as Samsung? What are your expectations?
So at Samsung, my overall experience, I can say that it was pretty good because the pay was pretty decent actually, and I have
Hmm.
to work from the comfort of my home actually. So there was not much pressure to that you have to do this at the end of the day like that. There was great managers and there are great mentors I've got there, which tells me, gives me resources that you have to learn this, you have to learn this, that we are going to make this project and you need to learn those tech stacks to do that. So he gradually gives me those resources that you should learn this, you should see this code, how this is done and how you have to done. So he's a very chill mentor and a very good mentor actually, I can say that. So he tell me gradually what should I be doing. So there was no work pressure to do this at the end of the day or like that. So it was pretty chill. And in mentor graphics, I also expect the same. So in mentor, I mean in Sam Siemens, I have to go to Noida actually. That is work from office. So I want to explore the how in office people actually work and how people interact with each other. Because in Samsung, I have to give a message or give a call to my manager whenever I have to get
Uh-huh.
some problem or like that. So I think in work from office, I'll do able to do work more efficiently, I guess, because I will able to communicate better and get
Right.
my problem solved resolved easily. And I want that I should get new tech stack such that I'm able to learn new tech stack.
Hmm.
That's all.
Right, right. That is it. Okay, all right. So once the interview part is done, once the OA is cleared and all, what what was the contact from their end? How did they contact you? Was it a mail? Have you received any goodies as such, or are you expecting some goodies? What's going to happen?
Yeah, from a Samsung internship, I got some goodies like this bottle. Actually, this is
Right,
from Samsung only.
right, right.
Yeah, the bottle, a cap. I got many goodies like a pen and notebook and all. That
Hmm.
was very good of Samsung that it should. I mean, it makes us excited that to work at that. And I also expect that from Siemens also. Why not?
Right,
Who don't want some goodies?
right, right, right.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
yes.
that's how my expectations are.
Okay. So how did they contact you? Was it a mail or how did they go about it?
Yeah, yeah, everything is gone through the mail only because
Okay.
first of all, the main point of contact is your training and placement officer from your college, right? Because
Hmm.
it's an
Hmm.
on-campus placement. So first, the main informant point of contact is the my TAP coordinator. After
Okay.
that, I have to all contact through the mail only with my HR, all everything.
Right, 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 right. Got it, got it. Okay. So, Anmol, coming towards the end of the thing, do you have any future plans as of now, or do you plan to see what happens? Do you plan to do a master's or what's going on?
No, no, no. बैचलर्स हो गए यही बहुत है बाकी तो
Right.
yeah
It was too hectic. Correct, correct. Correct.
because it's yeah actually BTech is hectic but you can solve it in one night before
Uh-huh.
actually but that's okay but I have no planning for doing any master but let's see what happened like if I am requiring some MBA or kind of thing then I can do it
Correct,
I'll
correct,
get
correct.
time I get some money Yeah,
Correct,
because
correct,
after
correct.
doing the job only I'll get that money because MBA is quite expensive, you know.
That is it. That is it. 100% there. So I forgot about
Yeah.
one thing that we talked earlier. That is you do MERN stack development, right? MERN, you use the MERN
Yeah.
stack. What is MERN? How do you go about it? How do you learn it and all?
So yeah, Munstack basically stands for M for MongoDB, E is Express, N is Node.js, and R is React.js.
Okay,
So basically, our React.js is basically for the front end part. So you make all the client side with the React.js. That makes it so easy to use. Basically, so easy to code actually, because
okay,
on using basic JavaScript, you have to do so many rigorous things. You have to repeatedly do the task also. But with React, it makes coding so easier. You can make components and you can make everything so easy. And with the backend part, there is the E and N part, that is Node.js and Mongo Express actually. Node.js and Express. So Express is basically the framework for Node.js. So Express
okay.
means basically the backend. We created the API with the Express.js. Created those API calls, create so that we can fix it, use make it better for the clients actually. And M is for MongoDB, that is making the database part, because after the reacting with the user side with the end backend side, there has to be some database to be collected from the user, so that your side does not forget all the items from that user. So there should be a database to be do all those things simultaneously and continuously.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so that is basically a monster technology. So, and for that also, to learn this technology, you should just take a project and start doing things. First of all, I just say that you should not make the whole project with the month stack. First, you should make a full, front end part with the
Right.
React.js. Just see how front end you can make how front end, how the React.js components work, how you can do all the things in front end part. And in separately, you should also do some different projects for the backend part, that how you can
Hmm.
do a backend, create a backend part with the Node.js and Express.js, and how you can connect those backend with the MongoDB with the database. And when you learn the backend part and front end part, then you should take a project which includes all those technologies for the month stack, and you should imply that.
Got it, got it, got it. Okay. So, coming towards the actual end of the thing. So, throughout the process, and since you belong from EC, but the job profile you've gotten is of a software intern, and you have worked a lot
Yeah.
on coding and all. So, what were your mantras, or who were your gurus in learning all this? Were there any teachers, or did you follow any websites? You said GFG Archives was a helpful place.
Yeah.
So, these all things, can you give a short brief on this thing, and then a tip about for the upcoming engineers in this field?
Yeah, so according to me, you should basically there are certain sites we should follow. Rigorously and continuously. Like there is a GFG website, Geeks for Geeks, which is very famous. Everyone knows that. There you can get all the questions, all the solutions for your any computer science related question. Because of coding, you get a practicing question part, like which question come to which company, and what should you prepare for which company and all and all, and which type of medium question, hard question. There's so much classification for the questions there. So you should practice on the GFG, and there's also Lead Code. Lead Code is such a
Right.
strong website, is such a strong tool for you to prepare for any software developer part. So there's Lead Code, there's a very certain type of question which eventually asked in the interviews also. Like in my OA round, I have seen all the questions which comes in the OA round are directly from the Lead Code. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you practice all the question in the Lead Code, then you can definitely crack the OA round of any company. You should do it by by pattern, by topics actually. Like bit manipulation एक टॉपिक खोला, उसके ऊपर सारे क्वेश्चन कर लें. ऐसा नहीं कि कोई भी रैंडम क्वेश्चन कर लो तो कुछ नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि कभी तुम कोई टॉपिक करो, कभी कोई टॉपिक करो. एक बिट
Correct.
मैनिपुलेशन खोलो, उसके कोई टॉपिक मतलब क्वेश्चन कर लो कि मतलब कि ये टॉपिक कैसे होता है, ये टॉपिक के लिए कवर. बेसिकली तुम्हें इंटरमीडिएट लेवल का तो आइडिया होना चाहिए. हार्ड लेवल मत करो. हार्ड लेवल मैं भी जानता हूँ कि करना इज नॉट एन इजी टास्क। तुम करने बैठोगे बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा, तुम डिमोटिवेट हो जाओगे। इससे अच्छा पहले सारे टॉपिक्स का इंटरमीडिएट लेवल कर लो, ताकि तुम्हें एक मतलब कि थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए कि हाँ यू कैन डू सम coding
Right.
question, you can at least crack the code. Even you though you were not able to do the code properly, but even you should crack the code of what to do in this code problem. So in lead code I should say that you should एक टॉपिक उठाओ, कोई भी सारे क्वेश्चन मीडियम लेवल तक तो कर लो। और सारे क्वेश्चन नहीं, बेसिकली मतलब क्योंकि लीड कोड में बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन होते हैं, देयर इज अ वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चन, तो उसमें भी कई तरह के पैटर्न्स होते हैं कि लाइक किसी के उसमें लाइक्स एंड अनलाइक्स होते हैं, तो जिसके लाइक्स अच्छे खासे हो तो वो क्वेश्चन करो, तो मतलब कि वो ज्यादा बेटर होता है करना कि उसको तुम करो। और इसी तरह जीएफजी में जैसे बात हुई, तो जीएफजी में भी इस तरह तुम्हें मिल जाएंगे कि टॉपिक वाइज और कंपनी वाइज, तो उसमें और अच्छे से मिल जाते हैं कि इस कंपनी में ये क्वेश्चन आया है, तो अगर तुम किसी कंपनी को टारगेट कर रहे हो तो जैसे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टारगेट करना है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट खोलो शांति से जीएफजी में, जो क्वेश्चन मिले सारे निकालो, मस्त तुम्हारा आराम से हो जाएगा। उसके इंटरव्यू से भी सारे क्वेश्चन रहते हैं, ओए राउंड के भी क्वेश्चन रहते हैं, आराम से हो जाएगा। और बाकी इंटरव्यूज के लिए तो मैं जरूर से कहूंगा कि एक जीएफजी आर्काइव जरूर से देखो, क्योंकि किसी भी इंटरव्यू का तुम्हें आइडिया होना चाहिए ना कि इस कंपनी में क्वेश्चन पूछे कैसे जाते हैं। जैसे सैमसंग का था कि मुझे इतना जीएफजी आर्काइव देख के मुझे पता चल गया था कि मतलब यहाँ पर ग्राफ के क्वेश्चन थोड़े बाकी सब टॉपिक के जैसे ज्यादा नहीं पूछे जाते हैं। सो दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स। एंड
Okay.
और बाकी अगर तुमने कुछ भी स्टार्ट नहीं किया, तो आई शुड सजेस्ट यू शुड स्टार्ट एट first start you should in hackerrank, because in hackerrank there was a start easy level question
Yes.
where you can do all the questions and get some, it also give you stars actually points, so you will get encouraged that yeah I've earned 2 star 5 star. So after hackerrank you should switch to GSG and lead code for the coding part.
Sorry.
And for the development part, as I say that you should take some project on whichever language you want to feel to learn, and make a project on it. You will get eventually learn. Yeah,
Right,
that's how
right,
it
right.
is.
So any tips for incoming juniors?
टिप्स यही है कि कंसिस्टेंसी दिखानी पड़ेगी, अगर बीच बीच में छूटा तो नहीं हो पाएगा, क्योंकि कोडिंग में भी यू आर अ ह्यूमन, यू कैन नॉट नो, यू हैव नॉट सच अ हाई एडवांस ब्रेन दैट यू कैन सी अ क्वेश्चन एंड यू सॉल्व इट राइट अवे। कोडिंग में बेसिकली तुम्हें थोड़ा तो मतलब पैटर्न याद करने की जरूरत है कि इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन में इस टाइप का ब्रेक लगेगा, इस टाइप के हिंट्स लगेंगे, कि इसमें डीपी लगना है, कि इसमें कौन सा डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज करना है, ये तुम्हें कंसिस्टेंसी से ही आएगा। बीच में
Right,
अगर तुम्हारा छूटा तो तुम भूल जाओगे। तो
right.
बेसिकली मेन पॉइंट इज कंसिस्टेंसी।
Sorry, sorry. So, Anmol, coming to the end of it, it was great having you. बहुत मजा आया बात
या
करके, and I hope that whenever the people see this video, they do enjoy it and they learn a lot from you. So, thanks a lot for being a part of this podcast and giving your time with us. Thanks a lot,
या
Anmol.
थैंक यू वेरी मच अशोक फॉर हैविंग मी। सो या आई वुड से एवरीवन फॉलो ऑलगाज्म, इट्स अ वेरी ग्रेट प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर एनीवन।
Thanks a lot, Anmol. Thank you.